Brucesploitation was a fascinating subgenre that sprung up in the 1970s following the death by misadventure of the founder of Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee. And this is certainly one of the strangest and one of the most entertaining of these Leealike epics. So the movie begins with a bizarre yet amazing tacked-on prologue where Bruce, or at least a Leealike stand-in, bursts out of his Seattle grave after it's struck by lightning. It's quite an interesting plot point, kind of like Jason in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. This one's a little different, a little unique in being South Korean made, and it does star South Korean Taekwondo instructor Jun Chong, credited as Bruce Lee. That's Leah, L-E-A, not L-E-E. And it's rumoured to be directed by Umberto Lenzi of Nightmare City and Eaten Alive fame. And I like to think that it was, even if it wasn't. It adds to the mystique. So the tacked-on prologue has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the movie, which is a little bit disappointing. But the premise of Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave is that Korean man Wong Han is trying to find out who killed his brother. Because of course he is. That's usually the main plot point of all these movies. So he travels to Los Angeles and he teams up with a lady called Suzanne to try and unravel the whole mystery. So I guess you'd say it's a bit thin on plot, but it is big on entertainment value. It is something of an oddity, to say the least, and comes highly recommended, especially to fans of the Leealikes. And the tasteless opening sequence of Bruce leaping from the grave in a flurry of lightning and 1-inch punches was, of course, added by the US distributors. And lead actor Jun Chong is enjoyably naive as Wong Han, and he probably would have been disappointed if he'd known that his movie was co-opted and turned into a Leealike movie. The rest of the cast, however, is uniformly awful, but that's okay. This movie's delightfully entertaining and has some great dialogue and some mediocre kung fu, or is that taekwondo? Sort of the opposite of the actual Bruce Lee movies, really, which generally had awful dialogue but amazing kung fu. So Bruce Lee fights back from the grave and make a pretty cool double bill with Soul Brothers of Kung Fu. And I reckon something nice to enjoy with this one being a South Korean production. You really couldn't go too far wrong with some nice tasty South Korean fried chicken washed down with some ice cold Cass beer, preferably a long neck of Cass beer. So that, my friends, is Bruce Lee Fights Back from Beyond the Grave, one of the standout oddities of the whole Leealike subgenre of Kung Fu, which appeared from the late 70s to the early 80s. A lot of these movies are strange, unusual and bizarre, and Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave is no different. And it's also a good example of a completely random movie being re-edited and co-opted by foreign distributors and being turned into something else entirely. Part of me wonders if I saw the original South Korean film, if it'd make a lot more sense. I suspect that it would. But nonetheless, it is quite entertaining to see what these American producers have done to Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave, with the tacked-on prologue of Bruce leaping from the grave after being struck by lightning, ready to go, ready to kick ass. And it wouldn't be as entertaining without it. And as I said, the lead role, Bruce K. Leah, as he's credited as, also known as Jun Hong, is basically beautifully naive in the movie, or at least the overdub's beautifully naive. He has the usual interactions with Interpol and so on and so forth, and the local goons who look kind of like the village people. And there's all kinds of entertainment to be had in Bruce Lee Fights Back from Beyond the Grave. So thanks again for joining me here at Fulci Metal Jacket. We try to upload once a week if you haven't been here before. If you have been here before and you're enjoying the content, please like, share and subscribe. And I do hope to see you next time.